Right, Glen Jennings, it's fight week for one of your fighters, Liam Wilson. He's in there with a tough fighter.
Sure. Look, Liam's at the time of his career now where he's about to get back on the big stage, so we're excited that Liam's finishing the year up, and his camp's been sensational, and we expect big things from Liam Friday and even bigger things for 2024.
I guess what's the thinking in this fight? Is it to test him, or is it just to get him back in the ring? What do you want to get out of this fight?
Look, Liam's a natural-born fighter. It's hard to keep these guys out of the ring. So I would suspect that in the back of his mind, he just wants to get in there and fight, do what he does best. And every time he does, so long as he comes out the other side a better fighter and better prepared for what's next, that's a bonus.
And granted he gets the win, I guess, what's the path for Liam back to that world title shot?
There's a couple of paths that we're deep into. Option A is a tough one, and some of the names have been talked about that are in the mix. Oscar Valdez, the current champs are all sitting there waiting in line, so it's hard to predict timeframes and who will be the champ because there's quite a few fights going on, and there's another opportunity to go a different path, which would see Liam straight off the back of this go into an eliminator, and then straight off the back of that into a world title fight. You've got champions, Foster and the likes that are all out there. There's some great challenges coming up to see who ends up holding the belts, but there's no one in the division we're worried about. We'd love to go Navarrete again, whether or not he's still a champ at the time, but no one we're too worried about. So whomever the clock lands on, we'll be happy to take.
What a year it's been for you and your management company. You got Tim, Nikita, Liam, Vegas Larfield as well, and Shannon O'Connell coming back as well. How do you sort of look back at the year that's been?
Well, there's two more now too. There's Amber Amelia and Brandon Gratch.
Oh yeah, Gratch.
Yeah, so Newcastle guys. So I'm very happy to have those guys come on board from box camp there at Gateshead. It has been an amazing year. Timmy's still leading the race, and we're getting him ready now for the American Assault. Nikita's come along beautifully. He's still early in the days. He's still learning his craft. He's still finding his own skin. But he's getting better, and he's getting more mature each time. So, as I said, so long as they come out of each fight a better fighter, that's a bonus. Some interesting news, Shannon O'Connell will be back next year. And that's exciting for Shan, considering the year she's been through with a full replacement shoulder and should have been technically medically retired, but that won't hold her back, I can guarantee you. Vegas was on this card up until just recently, and crook as a dog. Poor kid. I feel so bad for him. He was ready for the previous card, and his opponent got injured. And that's how the dominoes go. It's brutal in and out of the ring. You don't always get into the ring, but everyone's coming along terrifically, and it's going to be busy for all of them. I think 2024 is going to be a very busy year.
That Nikita Dylan Biggs fight was one of the most entertaining fights I reckon I've seen in a while. How do you sort of look back on that night, and also how proud are you of how Nikita came through?
Yeah, it's great watching Nikita. He's people forget it was only his seventh fight, and he'd been out of the ring for equally as many years, 7 years. So it's not like you go for a bite on a bike, hop off and get back on. I mean, he finished his boxing as an amateur, and now suddenly he's thrown on the biggest platform as a professional, and he's adapting beautifully, and he's got such a strong resolve to get it done, and his ticker will get him through. And you've seen better defence. He's getting better in all those things. Igor's working hard with him, but he's still a rookie. He's still got a long way to go, but he's making great strides. I was very proud of him. It was a spicy little competition, both pre and post and everything else, but Dylan Biggs came with bad intentions, and we got the win, and we move on.
Does he keep that title, or do you look to vacate the belt and move to regional? Or what's sort of the mind frame?
Look, my thoughts are that we would be looking at the regionals fairly quickly for Nikita, and it's a wonderful title to have, and you never lose it, even if you do vacate. I am a believer that you don't need to hold up divisions and hold up other people to have that opportunity. They should be proud to give someone else a chance to win it. So we'll see. There's no decision made yet. We'll wait and see what the new year holds for Nikita and go from there.
A lot of talk about a potential Vegas fight for Tim in March around the NRL. Any developments there?
There's a couple of good developments. They're still bubbling along as we speak. All going well, that will happen for Tim and Nikita and quite a few of the Australian fighters. And what an opportunity to launch Tim into America and to take Nikita and all these other boys for that life experience. And they will come out of that on the other side so much better for the experience. So it's a win-win for everybody. And it's a win-win for the Australian market to get to see our boys fight in Vegas. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I know Matty, George and myself are working around the clock to try and get it done, but nothing's simple in America. It's a little bit more complicated than Australia, but we'll get there.
The IBF belt has become vacant as well. From your point, is it better for Tim to sort of unify the division, chase belts, or does he look for big, massive money fights against Crawford, Spence, Charlo? What's sort of your
I think
thoughts?
when you ultimately go to the US and you make that commitment, it could be either. It depends on what opportunities open up. Everyone talks mega fights today, but they're few and far between. And getting a mega fight to the bell ringing and two guys going at it is a very rare occasion, and the problems associated with it are massive because there's so much at stake. There's so much money at stake. Mega fights are very expensive, and not every promoter can pull them off. If the opportunity arises for Tim to unify belts, absolutely we will. Tim Tszyu's a 3-4 fighter a year, even at this level, which is super rare. So it's possible to do both. Mega fight, belt. Mega fight, belt. Either way, we are open to everything, and much like I said with Nikita and pretty much my entire stable of fighters, there's no sitting around. We're going to stay busy, and we're going to fight whatever opportunities we get because they're all fighters. They're not hiders. They want to fight. So the pressure's always on me to come up with the next fight, and whether it be for a belt or for a big paycheck, we'll take either.
Thanks so much, man.
You're welcome, mate. Pleasure.